Hi everybody, John Morris inside the new Paul and Alejandra Foster Pavilion. Work continues, looking for an opening 1st of January. We want to give you a construction update. To give us the latest, welcome in Kevin Austin. He is the owner's rep for this project. All right, explain to us what does that mean, the owner's rep?
Sure, yeah. In major projects like this, a lot of times the owner, in this case Baylor, brings on an owner's rep like our firm, PC Sports, and we are an extension of the ownership team, basically augmenting the Baylor team. And I'm the eyes and ears day to day on this project, every day communicating with the architect, with the general contractor, monitoring schedule, monitoring budget, dealing with any kind of issues in the field, change management, RFIs, making sure that things are getting answered when they need to be answered. Basically, overall, the communication between all the major players in the project and letting Baylor know when I need assistance, when major issues are coming up, and then when I need some support. So there's a lot of coordination that goes in, as you know, on a day-to-day basis on a project like this. So I'm happy to be working for Baylor on this, and it's been quite a good experience.
We're happy to have you here, and thanks for your eyes and your ears on this project. But you're a native Canadian, and you're down here in Waco in the middle of maybe the hottest summer we've ever had. How are you handling the summer heat?
It definitely is uncomfortable at times, but I actually lived in Phoenix before this, and I was out in Hawaii before that, so I'm used to the heat now.
Right.
Matter of fact, when I go the other way now, I don't know how I did it some days in the winter months, so But it's definitely been hot.
Very cool. We're glad you're here. Give us an update. I know sometimes there are milestones you have along the way. What's the most recent milestone we passed here at Foster Pavilion, and maybe what's coming up in the near future?
Sure, yeah. I mean, it seems like every week now we're hitting major milestones. We're in the heat of major construction right now. The last concrete pour in the South Plaza, that was accomplished not too long ago. That was a big deal. We're looking at getting the roof complete in the next 2-3 weeks. That'll be a major milestone. We're looking at getting the escalator down in the South Plaza here in the next few weeks as well. Those are all major milestones. A big one is going to be the overall building dry-in, which is what we're looking at again in the next 3 weeks or so, and that'll be a big one.
The dry-in means you close things up. There's 11 lifts in here today as we're talking. You got to get them out of there. But then when you dry in, does that help you move forward to getting the floor down?
Yeah, it's critical. I mean, getting the building dry in allows you to get conditioned air on. And once we have all those systems on and the building is getting climatized, then we're able to move the court in. And the court is very sensitive. It's obviously wood, and it needs to be acclimatized, so there needs to be the right amount of time for it to, adhere to the climate, the conditions in the building, and that the conditioned air is a precursor to that. So to hit, all the things need to hit to make sure we stay on time and on schedule. That's a major component of it.
What do the conditions need to be, kind of in general, to allow you to bring the floor and lay it in?
Well, we need to make sure that we got a consistent temperature throughout the building, and we got to make sure the humidity levels are correct, and we got to make sure that there isn't going to be a lot of fluctuation in that. So it just needs to be a really consistent environment for the floor to actually go in and to be able to adhere to the conditions. So
the South Plaza we walked through there, that's spectacular. That'll be the main entrance, kind of the grand entry to the Foster Pavilion.
Yes, sir. Yeah, you can feel it now when you're out there, and that's why I mentioned the last pour out there. Before the pour happened, you were still looking around going, how is this going to look and feel? But now the floor is in, we've got the 2 grand staircases up, we've got the escalator going in here in the next few weeks, we've got all the glazing going up. Pretty soon the big BU logo is going to be up there for everybody to see. It's going to have a real nice, big league look and feel to it when people come to the building.
Yeah, you can see it taking shape out there. Like you can see the grand staircases. You talked about the spot for the escalator. That's going to be spectacular when we get there. What would you say that you're on schedule? I think the way you said it was we're on the path and we're on the right path. Is that accurate?
Yes, sir. I mean, there's a lot of work to go, but we're constantly looking at the schedule. Austin's been really good about monitoring their schedule and making adjustments. And we have the path to get to where we need to be in January, and we're on that path. There's still a lot of things that have to hit. One of them they already mentioned is the conditioned air being on, because that's a real precursor to a lot of other things that have to happen. So that's a big one. But yes, we're on the path. We're right in the heat of construction. This is the busiest time of the project right now. We got anywhere from 20 to over 25 different contractors on site on a day-to-day basis. Upwards of 300 people. We're running multiple shifts now, because it's just, you can see the coordination out here. Like, it takes a lot of time and effort to make sure people are staying in their areas and have the ability to get to their areas. So now we're doing some overnight work for a lot of the work that's happening above the court. So yeah, we're in the heat of it, and it's super busy, and I can say that everybody's working very, very hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to get all these lifts out here so you can close that into the building, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. And then, as you can see, we have the opening all the way through the men's court at this point. So we're going to hold off on closing that in until we have all this work done. Once these lifts are gone, you're not going to be able to have these big lifts anymore. It's going to be smaller lifts, and a lot of work going to have to be done, from inside the ceiling space.
Yeah. So what about this project? We're aiming for 1st of January to play basketball in here, but then continuing will be the development center, for the men and the women. How's that coming along?
Yeah, I mean, the focus hasn't changed. Everything is getting done. I mean, this is the main component has to be done earlier on, but there's still a lot of work going on in those two areas. And yeah, we're looking at a March-April timeline for those to be open.
Okay.
The courts, those will be installed after this one is done.
Okay.
So the air will be conditioned, so they can move over to putting those courts in afterwards. So yeah, those are fun too. I mean, those are going to be really, really good spaces for the teams to be operating out of.
It'll be great. March Madness will come for the development centers. Kevin, thanks for the update. We appreciate it, and thanks for all your good work.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, Kevin Austin, he's the owner's rep. As things continue, progress continues. You can tell around us here at the Paul and Alejandra Foster Pavilion.